Hello and welcome to the CDO magazine series. My name is Eleanor Treharne-Jones and I'm the CEO at Kensu. And today I'm delighted to be speaking with Amitabh Seli, the Chief Data Officer and Head of Data for the UK at Danone. Amitabh, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me, Eleanor.
Data quality and data governance have long been issues in the data space as soon as we've started to have exponential increase in volume of data. And the insights that one can gain from it. So do you believe those two are intrinsically linked? And if so, how and why?
Yeah, so I think they're not synonymous, but they're closely related is what I would say, Eleanor, in my view. While quality is intrinsic to building trust in the data and the business really using it, in my view, governance gives it that framework for quality to happen. And in that sense, I see them both as parts of a continuous improvement cycle, where quality really needs to be the front and front and center of everything what data should deliver. But governance really provides it that framework. So it's sort of that symbiotic relationship between the two, and then hence, in my view, very, very closely linked.
What are the biggest challenges in these two areas that you see at the moment?
I think there's quite a few. The fundamental one is around the capability of tools, processes, and the mindset in organizations adopting that. Now, currently, we see a lot of adoption and the appetite for data being at the right levels in the industry and the business I am in, but I wouldn't say that's the same for other industries and other companies. So that, I think, is a fundamental challenge. And then it is one thing to have a framework and a governance platform, but I think it's equally important to have certain tools and systems that enable monitoring of those initiatives that the company embarks on, whether it's around consistency of metrics, quality of data, and really data ownership becomes a part of it, to bring all of that together in a cohesive way that drives value to the business and those objectives deliver what they're meant to deliver. And I think the challenges are around all those three elements, really.
Digging in a little, you talked about mindset. What perhaps you could share some of the things that you've done to try and create a culture of, data kind of governance within, the organizations that you've worked in?
Yeah, excellent question. So what we've done currently at Danone is implement a data governance working group, or some companies would call it a council. So this is an active body of people from our master data teams, our data management teams, and key business stakeholders or business owners as in classic data governance speak. So we would regularly meet and review not just quality of master data, but issues impacting or that limit the use of data. Whether it's metrics or inconsistencies between systems that come in our way of not taking very clear or informed decisions. So I think this has become a really good platform for people to get together and quite openly share or ask questions about the data that the business uses. That also lends itself to a very healthy platform for the analytical community to showcase proof of concept projects, to say, while we are building the quality of the data and the governance around it, I think as we progressively get better, let's build tools and or proof of concept projects to show the value that good quality data is creating. So I think it becomes a self-fulfilling circle. So that this platform or this working group has really enabled that momentum and that outlook to take shape in the UK and I for Danone.
And how do you handle the perennial challenge of, where ownership sits? You say you have a committee, so is everyone responsible? Is it a central, business function that then interacts with the rest of the business? How have you chosen to address that challenge?
Yeah, really good question. I know the more prevalent view right now is that the business needs to own the data, which I agree with. But I equally agree there is an element of shared accountability between the data teams and the business on the same topic. While the business can lead the discussion from a usage point of view and a value point of view, But to really make that happen, unless you have co-owners on the data side, you really wouldn't get as much success as the organization would want. So I really think there is perhaps not shared responsibility, but more accountability of that business domain ownership within the data teams equally, to be able to relate and translate those changes in what is needed in the systems. Because without that, I think it might seem a bit disconnected. You could have a very good set of policies and framework, but not really aligned in the back end or the intrinsic data systems, and or the other way around.
Thank you, Amitabh, for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. Would love to continue the conversation. Please do visit cdomagazine.tech for further interviews, and thank you again.
Thanks very much, Eleanor.